Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Fiction Network. Understanding against heaven, I create the Saiyan Cultivation method. Xiao Han, who had traveled to the world of Dragon Ball, felt a bit flustered, but fortunately he had the golden finger with an incredible understanding. You have an incredible understanding, observing the divine dragon to fulfill your wishes, comprehending the divine power of the dragon, and achieving one wish every year. You can upgrade. You have an incredible understanding, observing the process of using the universal capsule and comprehending the space capsule. You have an incredible understanding, observing the process of Saiyan cultivation and comprehending the legendary Super Saiyan cultivation method. Every time you are on the brink of death, your strength doubles. When your strength reaches a certain level, you can transform into the legendary Super Saiyan. You have an incredible understanding, observing the battles of frozen demons, and comprehending the cultivation method of frozen demons. You have an incredible understanding, observing the cultivation process of the Namek people, and comprehending the Super Namek people's cultivation method. You have an incredible understanding, observing the battles of the God of Destruction, and comprehending the cultivation method of the God of Destruction's divine power. You have an incredible understanding, observing angels. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001 has an incredible understanding. Understand the Dragon Ball manufacturing method. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Han looked at the things in his hand in confusion and fell into silence. This thing should be fake, it's a toy, right? A yellow transparent bead with 5 red stars inside, looks like the 5 planets in a Dragon Ball. The feel was very good and heavy. Xiao Han had to say that this Dragon Ball had been put in a lot of effort, just like the real one. Xiao Han didn't know how he appeared here. He was sleeping at home, but when he woke up, he came here with an additional 5 planets in his hand. Xiao Han suspected that he seemed to have traveled through time because he had acquired a power. But this ability seems a bit useless, only able to see one's own heart. Xiao Han could see that his heart was actually a transparent, colorful glass heart. In the moment he saw it, Xiao Han knew what it was. 10 orifices and exquisite hearts. Under the heavenly way, there are 9 extremes, and 10 surpass the heavenly way. The 10 orifices Linglong heart has only one function and possesses an incredible understanding. As for how rebellious it is, Xiao Han said, it is very rebellious. I can't go against the sky anymore. Holding the 5 planets, Xiao Han felt like he knew something. Xiao Han looked at the 5 planets and surprisingly, the process of making Dragon Balls appeared in his mind. Be obedient in the cave, this is too exaggerated. Just take a look at the Dragon Ball and you'll know how to make it. Can you make another 6 that cannot directly summon the Divine Dragon? Of course, he was just thinking about it. Creating Dragon Balls requires the magic of the Nemesians, but he doesn't have the magic of the Nemesians himself. So the last one is here. A woman's voice came out from the side, and a beautiful woman with blue hair and protruding front and back came down from a suspended car. The woman pressed on the car, and the car immediately disappeared, leaving only a capsule. With a loud bang on his head, Xiao Han blurted out, Universal Capsule Company. Bulma, parallel world, looked at the handsome guy in front of him, and his eyes suddenly turned into stars. I've been paying attention to the Dragon Ball before, I didn't see how handsome the person holding the Dragon Ball is. Bulma ran 2 steps to Xiao Han and put on a shy and hesitant appearance. Handsome guy has good eyesight, even I can tell from Universal Capsule Company. May I ask what your name is? The blue-haired beauty is wearing a navel-bearing outfit and a super short skirt, showcasing her long legs, small waist, and straight peaks to the fullest. Especially now, with his adorable appearance of being picked by Renjun, Xiao Han was stunned and his eyes were straight. Although Xiao Han knows he's a bit handsome and there are people who ask for contact information when taking public transportation, this blue-haired beauty is a bit exaggerated, just like a flower addict. My name is Xiao Han, and you? Burma was extremely happy to see Xiao Han's captivated appearance. Sure enough, sister's charm is unstoppable. My name is Burma. I'm from Universal Capsule Company, I'm looking for Dragon Ball. By the way, can you give me that 5-star pearl? I can buy it with money. When Xiao Han heard the 3 words, Bulma, his head was buzzing. Nima actually crossed to the Dragon Ball. What would happen if an Earthling crossed into the Dragon Ball world? Of course, he was killed time and time again, then resurrected by the Divine Dragon and killed again. He is an Earthling, and it is difficult for him to reach the level of Daklan, let alone the perverted Saiyan like Sun Wukong. Fortunately, I have a delicate mind with 10 tips, and I don't know if it can help me and give me a foothold in this world. Xiao Han was momentarily stunned and threw the 5 planets directly to Bulma. 5 planets can be given to you, but can I see the Divine Dragon? I've always wanted to see it, so I can rest assured that I won't have the desire to use the Divine Dragon. When you see 5 planets, you will understand how to learn how to make Dragon Balls. What about seeing a Divine Dragon? Xiao Han is full of anticipation. As for wishes, he has no relatives or connections with Bulma, why should he have a wish? It's better to directly request to see the Divine Dragon, I don't know if Bulma will agree. However, Xiao Han really forgot about Bulma's flower obsession ability. Seeing Xiao Han hand over the Dragon Ball directly, Bulma's impression of this handsome guy improved and he agreed without saying a word. Of course you can. Xiao Han was stunned, he didn't expect it to be so easy. Bulma really doesn't take the Dragon Ball seriously. If it were in his world, the Dragon Ball wouldn't have been robbed and exploded. Burma took out her backpack and placed it on the ground, opening it to reveal the remaining 6 Dragon Balls. Lying trough. Surprisingly, they all gathered together. Bulma glanced at Xiao Han, then I'll start summoning the Divine Dragon. Xiao Han nodded, and Bulma placed 7 dragon beads together and shouted. Come out, Divine Dragon. In an instant, the sky turned dark, and 7 dragon beads emitted light, soaring into the clouds. At the next moment, a golden light shot out from the dark clouds, and a green dragon several hundred meters long appeared before the 2 of them. At the moment he saw the Divine Dragon, Xiao Han felt as if he had learned something. 002 Understanding the Heavenly Intelligence. Understand the power of the Divine Dragon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Han was in a daze for a moment, staring at the Divine Dragon in a daze. He felt that there were many things in his mind. After the appearance of the Divine Dragon, he looked at Bulma and asked. Please express your wishes. Burma hesitated and didn't make a wish. She was originally looking for a handsome boyfriend and wanted to know who her true love was, but when she saw Xiao Han, she felt like she had found him. For a moment, Burma didn't know what wish to make. Why don't you make a wish? I don't seem to have any wishes to fulfill. Xiao Han's face lit up with joy. Is he so generous? This is a Divine Dragon, the dragon he has dreamed of since childhood to fulfill his wishes. But what wish should he make? Becoming a Saiyan. Eternal life and immortality. Or what? There are too many wishes, one is not enough at all. Xiao Han glanced at Bulma and said to the Divine Dragon, I hope Burma will always be young and beautiful. This small wish is too simple for the Divine Dragon, as a golden light shines on Bulma. Your wish has been fulfilled. After speaking, the Divine Dragon transformed into a golden light and entered the Dragon Ball, which floated in the sky and flew in all directions in an instant. Xiao Hanshu's wish is not without reason. He has a good relationship with Bulma and the Dragon Ball can be used every year in the future. A wish is not of much use now, it's better to use it for personal favors. Burma's appearance directly returned to her state at the age of 18, looking much younger than before. She was directly stunned. Although she was 20.4 years old, she had never thought of it, after all, she was young now. However, Xiao Han knew that from now on, various powerful enemies would descend on Earth, and dragon beads were almost always used to resurrect humans. Even though Bulma kept complaining when he was old, he never used dragon beads to keep himself young. Since Bulma himself is not coming, let me make this wish on her behalf. Bulma was a bit confused, and her flower mania had started to recur. She wondered if Xiao Han had taken a liking to her, or why would he have used such a precious wish on her. You should know that finding Dragon Balls is not that easy. Without a Dragon Ball radar, it is even more difficult to find Dragon Balls in the entire world. Except for herself, almost no one can find the Dragon Ball. It's such a precious wish, Xiao Han actually made a wish to make her forever young. At this moment, Bulma had already figured out what her child's name was. At the moment when the divine dragon was speaking, Xiao Han suddenly felt something else in his mind. Xiao Han was speechless for a moment, thinking that it would be better if his understanding could be more intelligent, like artificial intelligence from a previous life. It's not very satisfying to report any changes and insights. Now I have to figure it out myself, it's really troublesome. The next second, Xiao Han's mind actually had an additional mechanical sound. You have an incredible understanding, observing the divine dragon fulfill your wishes, and comprehending its divine power. Every year, you can achieve a wish that does not exceed your ability. Divine Dragon Power. Achieving one wish every year, 1/1, used, Dragon Ball Making Method. Craft Dragon Balls using the magic of the Namek people. Divine Dragon Manufacturing Method. Create a divine dragon through the elder magic of the Nemesis. Line Trough. Xiao Han looked at the panel in front of him and was confused. What is this? Just talked about intelligence, is that just about intelligence? It is indeed concise and clear. But how did this come about? Xiao Han noticed that the wish of the divine dragon power was used, so it was the divine power he comprehended that was used to make the wish intelligent, so it became intelligent. Bull Batch. This understanding is against heaven, indeed it is against heaven. The Dragon Ball manufacturing method should be a manufacturing method that one can comprehend upon seeing the Dragon Ball, while the Divine Dragon manufacturing method is a manufacturing method that one comprehends upon the appearance of the Divine Dragon. In just a short while, I understood three things, each one being even more impressive. Can Nima still upgrade these manufacturing methods if she sees the Dragon Ball of Namek? Wisdom goes against the sky. Terrifying. While Xiao Han was still feeling happy in his heart, Bulma hugged him tightly, and his softness almost made him unable to hold on to it. Thank you, Xiao Han. After Bulma hugged him, he immediately stood on the side with a red face, and Xiao Han was still a bit unsatisfied. Where are you going next? Bulma's one sentence confused Xiao Han. Where are you going? He also wants to know where he is going. He doesn't know anything about this world, and he doesn't know where he is now. Where can he go? Now you have no strength to restrain yourself, wandering around will kill you. Xiao Han's eyes were confused and he covered his head. I don't know either, I seem to have lost my memory. All I know is that my name is Xiao Han and I don't know where I live, and I don't know where I am now. Bulma looked at him pitifully, you have lost your memory, why don't you make a wish to restore it? Xiao Han looked into Bulma's eyes, because I don't want such a beautiful thing to pass with time, it would be an indelible loss for the world. As Xiao Han spoke, Bulma's calm face immediately turned red to the bottom of his ears. If you don't have a place to go, come back to Shidu with me. I will cure your amnesia. Xiao Han and others nodded without any hesitation. Then I'll trouble you. 003 Space Capsule. Shocked Briff. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After tossing and turning for a while, Xiao Han finally arrived at Shidu. Undoubtedly, it is one of the busiest cities, with towering buildings no worse than in the past, and even more technologically advanced. The streets are filled with floating cars, floating trains at high altitudes, and even small civilian planes in the sky. The only downside is that the design is a bit lacking. Almost all buildings are round, cars are also round, and airplanes are also round. This world is on par with things that are round. Bulma brought Xiao Han to a huge semi-circular building, which is the world-renowned Universal Capsule Company. Finally arrived. Bulma stretched lazily, his already upright peaks appearing even more majestic. She looked at Xiao Han, who was looking around, and knew he was curious about everything around him. I really don't know what Xiao Han's condition is, he has amnesia, but common sense should know. Along the way, Xiao Han was like a bumpkin from the countryside, curious about everything, as if he had never seen anything before. However, Xiao Han's knowledge surprised her a bit. He was proficient in poetry, songs, and prose, and often said things that made people's hearts race and their cheeks turn red. Combined with Xiao Han's handsome appearance, Bulma fell directly into the trap. She swore to cure Xiao Han's memory and then embark on an unbreakable relationship with him. Bulma turned the car into a capsule and pulled Xiao Han towards the company. Just as he entered, a man with glasses, white beard, and white hair walked over, with a small black cat squatting on his shoulder. Bulma, you have finally come back. Briff smiled happily and saw his daughter coming home with a handsome guy, finally letting go of his hanging heart. Since the return of the martial arts club a while ago, Bulma has been in a bad mood. After my own investigation, I found out that Bulma's friend named Sun Wukong is getting married. Briff thought Bulma liked that person named Sun Wukong, but now it doesn't seem like that. In less than a month, I brought back a handsome guy. Previously, Sun Wukong's wedding invitation was sent over, and Briff was still hesitating whether to give it to Bulma. Now it seems that he was completely overthinking it. Who is this? Bulma blushed and said, "This is my friend, Xiao Han, whom I met while searching for Dragon Ball." Xiao Han, this is my father. Briff knew about his daughter's situation by looking at Bulma's appearance. Xiao Han looked at the man in front of him with a beard that was full of technological talents. 9 out of 10, Bulma's talent is inherited from him, and the Universal Capsule was developed by him, including many things in the later stage. "Hello uncle, I'm sorry to bother you by visiting." Xiao Han felt a bit embarrassed. He didn't take anything from the house for the first time, but he really didn't have any money. You can't borrow money from Bulma and then go to her house to buy things. However, Xiao Han was not unprepared either. He took out a piece of paper and handed it to Briff. "Uncle, it's our first time meeting and we didn't prepare a gift. This is an upgraded version of the Universal Capsule that I developed with Bulma. Let's give it to you." Bulma and Briff were both stunned for a moment, and Bulma looked puzzled. When did Xiao Han study the Universal Capsule with him? Briff glanced at Bulma with a smile in his eyes, thinking that Bulma had provided some data from the Universal Capsule to Xiao Han. It seems that Bulma has great confidence in this young man. He is very good, handsome like me, and knows how to cater to his preferences. Briff casually took the paper and glanced at it. Is this a space capsule? It can store any item. No need to throw it out, it can be stored directly. Briff can tell at a glance that this thing is not something that Bulma can make. A universal capsule is a capsule made from an item, then thrown out to become an item, and can also be turned back into a capsule. But the space capsule on this piece of paper can store any object outside of the living object in the capsule. Even if the item is not made into a capsule, it can still be stored, and this technology has not even broken through by Briff himself. This is really precious. Xiao, you should take it back. Briff suppressed his desire and returned the paper to Xiao Han, knowing what it meant. He started his career with the help of universal capsules, and his success now relies entirely on them. He can tell at a glance that this space capsule is something even more powerful than the universal capsule. He has principles in his life, but he cannot accept such valuable things so casually. Even if he really wants to research the technology above. Xiao Han pushed the blueprint back directly. Technology or something was not what he wanted was absolute power. This blueprint may be a treasure for an ordinary person, but for him, it's nothing. This thing is also a manufacturing method that Bulma has comprehended multiple times using the universal capsule. After all, even the Dragon Ball manufacturing method can be understood. What is a small space prop? Uncle, there's no such thing as a door gift being collected. Besides, if it weren't for Burma, I might have died in the wilderness, and this gift is not valuable at all. Briff hesitated as he looked at Burma. Are you saying you want it or not? 004 deserves to be single. Dead straight man. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Bulma took the blueprint and curiously looked over, wondering what could trigger such a big reaction from her father. After 2 glances, Burma was completely shocked. A capsule that is even more powerful than our own universal capsule. Is this thing really invented by Xiao Han? Burma decisively gave it to Xiao Han. No, it's too expensive. Xiao Han didn't answer either, pretending to be angry. Why is it so valuable? It's useless for me to hold it. This is for you, just hold it. There's no one who doesn't bring a gift when you come to your door. This will make Uncle look at me in the future. Take it now. Besides, this is something we researched together, and it's not something that belongs to me alone. Bulma looked confused. When did she study capsules with Xiao Han? When did I study this with you? Why did it become our work? Xiao Han looked as if he had taken it for granted. Of course it's both of us. You've used the universal capsule so many times before I improved the space capsule. If it weren't for the universal capsule, I wouldn't have been able to come up with this thing either. So this is a work that belongs to both of us. Is there a problem? Burma and Briff were blindfolded. What did they hear? You only know the principle after seeing the use of the universal capsule a few times. It also includes stronger space capsules. It's not too outrageous. Watching Burma and Briff still struggling, Xiao Han said coldly. Does Burma look down on my work or on me? Burma quickly waved his hand. No, I didn't mean that, it's just that this is really too valuable. Xiao Han continued. If you don't have that intention, just accept it. Even if it's not as valuable as yours. Upon hearing these words, Burma's face turned red with a twitch. Briff also looked back and forth at the two, with an uncontrollable smile in his eyes. What I mean is, it's not as close as our relationship, the slightest bit of friendship. Briff took the blueprint and laughed heartily. Alright, I'll accept this gift. I've agreed to your relationship with Bulma. Bulma, please take Xiao Han to a room to rest first. I'll have your mother cook a delicious meal to entertain Xiao Han. Speaking, Briff turned his head and left, leaving space for the two of them. Bulma lowered her head, her neck, face, and ears were all red, and Xiao Han felt a bit embarrassed when he saw this scene. I said the wrong thing just now, don't mind. Burma shook her head and walked forward without even daring to lift her head. Follow me, I'll take you to find a room. After Burma brought Xiao Han to a guest room, he didn't say much and ran away. Xiao Han looked at Bulma's fleeing figure, with a smile on his lips. Turning his head to look at this nearly 200 square meter guest room, Xiao Han could only sigh, money is so good. After arriving in Shidu, we need to find a way to learn martial arts. The best way is to find Turtle Immortal or Sun Wukong, and with his incredible intelligence, I believe he will soon learn how to use Qi. It's time for him to rise up. After a few minutes, Burma walked over with a set of clothes. These are a few sets of clothes that I have chosen, and I think they fit you quite well. You can change them after taking a shower later. After taking a shower, we'll go eat. Xiao Han looked at the clothes brought by Burma and without saying a word, took off his shirt. Although Xiao Han did not practice martial arts, he still regularly exercised before. He did not have chest muscles, but his abdominal muscles were 8 pieces. In addition, in my previous life, I didn't have much exposure to the sun, and my skin was fair and tender. I felt ashamed to show it to Bulma and turned my head and ran out directly. Bulma ran out of the door and leaned against the wall, with Xiao Han's naked upper body all in her mind. I didn't expect Xiao Han, who looked quite thin and weak, to have 8 abdominal muscles and be so handsome. Handsome and talented, so smart, so talented in scientific research, he is simply the dream lover. Isn't this the right person she's been looking for? Bulma fantasized in her heart, not even knowing that Xiao Han had taken a shower and walked next to her. Xiao Han supported the wall with one hand and knocked on Bulma's head with the other. What are you thinking? So obsessed. Bulma covered her head, as if she had done something wrong and been caught, her head curled up. Xiao Han's body slowly approached Bulma. Are you very afraid of me? Bulma felt a wave of hot air blowing towards her ear, her heart stopping abruptly and then beating violently. The strong masculine aura was making her gasp for breath, and she was both eager and afraid. Xiao Han looked at Bulma like a quail, huddled in the corner for slaughter, and smiled as he pulled up Bulma's small hand. Let's go. Let's go eat. I'm starving to death. Bulma lowered her head and was pulled forward by Xiao Han, feeling a hint of disappointment in her heart. My mother's eyes are almost closed, so you're going to eat. You deserve to be single. Dead straight man. 005 Sun Wukong's wedding invitation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bulma brought Xiao Han to their restaurant, which was different from the imagined grandeur. The restaurant was surprisingly cozy, with only a small table and 4 chairs around it. Although the table is small, there is an extra abundance of food on it, including rice, noodles, meat, desserts, and various unfamiliar delicacies, filling the entire table. Especially the leg meat in the middle of the table, which took up most of the space, was only a small part, but it was thicker than Xiao Han's entire body. Bulma explained to Xiao Han. This is the place where our own family eats, because there are only 3 of us, so the table is relatively small and there is less food. Xiao Han was stunned directly. Is it still too little for 4 people to eat so much? That leg alone is enough for 4 people to eat. TSK, the life of a wealthy person is truly enviable. At this moment, Briff and Mrs. Briff walked over, holding a plate of chicken legs or something in her hand. But that chicken leg is almost as big as Xiao Han's head, just looking at Xiao Han makes you feel full. Xiao Han is here. Sit down. Sit down. It's time to eat. Xiao Han quickly said to the guests. Uncle, Auntie, why don't you all sit down too much? You can't finish eating. Briff waved his hand. Where are you? Come and taste your aunt's craftsmanship. Briff and his wife sat down together, and although she was very concerned about Xiao Han, she could still see the changes in Bulma at a glance. Bulma, why have you become so young? Bulma secretly glanced at Xiao Han and said. Mom, I'm not old at all. What does it mean to be so young? However, I have indeed become 17 or 18 years old now. Briff looked at Bulma and realized that his daughter seemed to be much younger. Are you making a wish with a Dragon Ball? Briff knew that Bulma had once looked for Dragon Ball, and there probably wasn't much else he could do to restore his youthfulness except for Dragon Ball. Bulma lowered her head and said, It's Xiao Hanshu's wish to keep me young forever. The 2 elders looked at Xiao Han with a softer gaze, handsome and kind to their daughter, as well as intelligent and talented in scientific research. Is this not the right Prince Charming of Bulma? Under the leadership of Xiao Han, Universal Capsule Company will perform even better. Mrs. Briff put a calf larger than Xiao Han's head into Xiao Han's bowl. Xiao, eat more. It looks too thin. The 2 elders frantically picked vegetables for Xiao Han, and soon a mountain was piled up in Xiao Han's bowl. The meat and vegetables are both 20 centimeters above the horizontal line of the bowl. Xiao Han's head looks so big that he can't hold it to death with so much. Xiao Han took a piece of meat and put it into his mouth. With a gentle sip, the meat seemed to have melted. A breathtaking taste that he had never tasted before made Xiao Han feel happy both physically and mentally. It was really delicious. It's so delicious. Auntie, your craftsmanship is amazing. You've never eaten such delicious food in your life. Mrs. Briff was even happier when she heard the praise and began to sandwich meat for Xiao Han again. If it's delicious, you should eat more. After eating a meal, Xiao Han almost survived, but the food was truly delicious. No wonder even the god of destruction was conquered. As for the huge dinosaur leg on the table, Xiao Han only tasted a little, and the rest was eaten by Briff. Briff was so big and small in grade that he ate a dinosaur leg that was even bigger than him, which really shocked Xiao Han. At the dinner table, Briff and his wife asked about Xiao Han's situation and learned about his amnesia. Briff patted his chest and promised that it was all a small matter. As a top-tier enterprise, Universal Capsule Company naturally has treatment equipment within the company. After eating, one can directly go to the medical room to cure Xiao Han. Xiao Han blushed with sweat. Has medical care in this world become so advanced? Can amnesia be cured in one go? But the problem is that he hasn't lost his memory. You'll have to find a reason to deceive me when I arrive. After finishing the meal, Briff brought Burma and Xiao Han to the medical room, where there was an instrument similar to an MRI. However, this instrument is not as complex as nuclear magnetic resonance and looks extremely simple. Briff stood aside and let Xiao Han lie down, then turned on the machine. Xiao Han was sent into the machine center, and a buzzing sound sounded. Red light scanned onto Xiao Han one by one, as if checking his physical condition until all the red light converged on his head. An unknown wave entered Xiao Han's mind, and he suddenly felt very tired and slowly closed his eyes. Before falling asleep, Xiao Han heard Briff say to Bulma. By the way, Burma, your friend Sun Wukong invited you to his wedding the day after tomorrow. I have placed the invitation in 006 Yamcha's provocation. Seeking flowers. Seeking reviews. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On a Baozi mountain near the Flame Mountain, there is almost no place where people usually come, but today many people have come. Sun Wukong was dressed in a suit and looked very handsome, while Chi was wearing a white wedding dress, which was incredibly beautiful. Friends from Klin, Turtle Fairy, Tianjin Rice, Dumplings, Divination Granny, Oolong, Puer, Lanchi, Yamcha, Bull Demon King, and Sun Wukong almost all came. Klin looked at Sun Wukong with envy on his face. He didn't expect to see Wukong become so handsome in a few years and even pick up a beautiful wife. But these are not the most uncomfortable things for Klin. The most uncomfortable thing is that Wukong is so much taller than him. Even though he was the same height before, in the blink of an eye, Wukong was like eating poisoned milk powder, so long, but he was still so short. Klin looked at Yamcha beside him and asked, "Why are you the only one on Yamcha, Burma?" Yamcha looked embarrassed as he had already broken up with Bulma. Who knew where Bulma was? It should be almost here. As soon as the words fell, a civilian plane landed in the air, and Burma and Xiao Han walked down together. Burma put away the plane and led Xiao Han towards a few people. Hey, Burma, you finally came. Sun Wukong waved his hand and greeted Bulma, who looked at his old friend with a complex expression. Xiao Han seemed to know what Bulma was thinking and grabbed Bulma's hand. Bulma's body suddenly froze, gently looking at Xiao Han and tightly grasping his hand. This scene was clearly seen by Yamcha beside her, and a wave of anger suddenly appeared in her heart. Damn it, where did this stinky kid come from? He doesn't look like a good person at first glance. Bulma smiled and said to Sun Wukong. Yeah. Congratulations. Sun Wukong, Chi. Xiao Han then turned his gaze to Sun Wukong, the Saiyan who shocked the entire universe and all universes, Kakarot. Only Saiyan people can hold on to that cool and stunning hairstyle, how dare anyone else have such a hairstyle. The most important thing for the Saiyan people is their hairstyle, and the quality of their hairstyle determines how long they can live. Baldness and overly aggressive hairstyles won't last long. Burma, who is this? Klin and the others also walked over, looking curiously at Xiao Han. Burma introduced. This is my friend, Xiao Han. This is Sun Wukong, this is Chi-Chi, this is Klin. Xiao Han greeted everyone and pondered how to learn the use of Chi from them. Klin glanced at the hand they were holding together and chuckled. Friend. Boyfriend. Bulma's face was a bit hot, but he didn't refute it, and Xiao Han didn't say anything. As a result, Yamcha spoke with a strange and sinister tone, I can't see it. Burma probably doesn't like this thin and weak little white face, it looks like it can be blown down by a gust of wind. The whole air was filled with a strong smell of vinegar, and everyone could hear Yamcha's unhappiness. Kling was just about to make a comeback when Bulma got angry, Yamcha, please say it again. Who is the little white face? Xiao Han is a genius, an extremely intelligent researcher, and not the same kind of person as a martial artist like you with big arms and thick waist. Burma's words directly offended almost everyone present, most of whom were practicing martial arts. When Burma's map cannon fired, they were all killed. Even Kling, who wanted to speak, swallowed his words again. Yamcha looked at Bulma's maintenance of Xiao Han and became even more angry, saying disdainfully. Genius. I'm laughing to death. When faced with danger, it's often this kind of genius who runs the fastest. How can someone with thin arms and legs protect you? Does he have a fair face? The oolong on the side couldn't help but laugh when he heard these words, and then quickly covered his mouth. Sure enough, Bulma stared fiercely at Wulong and then glared fiercely at Yamcha as if she was about to charge up and fight. Xiao Han pulled Bulma and walked up to her, sorry everyone, Burma doesn't mean anything else. I admire all the martial artists and they are all focused on martial arts, but they haven't found a good teacher and can't enter the martial arts world. What a pity. If I could learn a few moves, I would definitely be able to spar with this friend. What a pity. My brain probably can only be used for scientific research. Upon hearing these words, Bulma almost couldn't laugh and almost forgot about Xiao Han's knowledge. At his level, it is estimated that everyone present can beat him. Yamcha has never attended much school before, and upon hearing this sentence, she felt a bit proud. This guy actually admitted it, and indeed, little white face is little white face. The crowd on the side looked at Yamcha with a proud expression and couldn't help but remind her. What he means is that no one teaches him martial arts. If he learns a little, he can easily handle you with his talent. He's saying that your martial arts practice is not very good. Upon hearing the smile on her face, Yamcha suddenly stopped and looked angrily at Xiao Han. Xiao Bailian is quite eloquent, so I'll teach you a few moves and see how you can spar with me. P.S. Brothers, please send me the flower evaluation ticket. 007 Super Wolf Fang Wind Fist. Fuck your face. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Klin and others were also a bit anxious when they saw Yamcha coming. Anyway, Xiao Han is also a person brought by Bulma, so he still needs to give Bulma face. They knew exactly what kind of temper Bulma had. If there were any ups and downs with Xiao Han, Bulma would really get angry. Don't be fooled by the fact that Burma has never learned martial arts, but who is present to learn martial arts is not afraid of Burma. The mother tiger became even more terrifying when it came to power than when Lan Chi transformed. Moreover, both Klin and Wukong are here. If they really take action, they will definitely stand on Bulma's side. Klin made a comeback and said. Yamcha, today is a day of great joy for Wukong, don't mess around. Who would have thought that Sun Wukong became interested when he heard that he was going to fight, it's okay. Do you want to spar? I'll come too. Chi-Chi is in a hurry. What are we going to do for our wedding? Let's do it. The turtle immortal knew about Sun Wukong's temperament and quickly stopped him. Wukong, you're not suitable for hands-on activities today. However, it's also good to have a sparring with Yamcha as a way to boost the fun. Anyway, Yamcha can still be considered a little bit of a turtle fairy-like person. Xiao Han mocks Yamcha for not being proficient in learning. Is he mocking turtle fairy-like people for not being able to teach? However, Burma still needs to give face, just give it a thumbs up, and he will take action when the time comes. Sun Wukong looked disappointed. Can't I take action? Alright then. Seeing this, Chi-Chi breathed a sigh of relief and gratefully glanced at the turtle fairy. Yamcha looked at Xiao Han with a mocking expression as she had already made up her mind. Pick up a stone and smash your own foot, I'll see what you do. Bulma also looked at Xiao Han with a worried expression. Xiao Han gave Bulma a reassuring look, and his heart had already bloomed with joy. Yamcha is really his benefactor. I'm worried that I won't be able to learn the martial arts of Turtle Immortal Flow. It's best to showcase all the martial arts I know. Then come on, I'll teach you a few moves and see how a genius can quickly learn Kung Fu and defeat me. Yamcha walked to the open space on the side, leaning back with one hand flat in front and the other hand behind. Watch it. My self-created move, Wolf Fang Wind Fist. After speaking, Yamcha quickly charged forward, like a wolf. He quickly approached a nearby boulder and swung his hands, punching it one after another. Every punch was incredibly fast, and with Xiao Han's eyesight, he couldn't see it carefully, only the shadows could be seen. After the Yamcha was over, the boulders had turned into rubble and scattered all over the ground. But Xiao Han was not afraid at all, as he had already received a gift from Yamcha. You have an incredible understanding, observing the Wolf Fang Wind Fist and comprehending the Super Wolf Fang Wind Fist, which has 5 times the power and speed of an ordinary Wolf Fang Wind Fist. In Xiao Han's mind, all the essentials of Super Wolf Fang Wind Fist suddenly came to mind, including sprinting, punching, and kicking, as if Xiao Han had been practicing hard for more than 10 years. Yamcha looked at Xiao Han in a daze and thought he was scared to death. She sneered, what's going on? You're not scared to be silly, are you? Learn from me and see. A genius. Yamcha deliberately emphasized the tone of the last 3 words, and anyone could hear the mockery in her mouth. The turtle fairy frowned, which is why he did not completely accept Yamcha. Emotions are too unstable and easily influenced, and he cannot achieve the same level as Sun Wukong and Klin. Demonstrating martial arts once and allowing someone who has never been exposed to it to learn it, while also making sarcastic remarks, is really against the principles of the Turtle Immortal Flow. Bulma looked angry. She had never learned martial arts and knew that no one could learn a single martial arts skill just by looking at it. This was clearly making it difficult for Xiao Han. At this moment, Xiao Han spoke, is that it? Are you at this level? Even if I haven't practiced martial arts, I've heard that powerful warriors rely on chi. Aren't you skilled in martial arts? You probably don't know how to do it. No way, with such a strong tone, I thought you were so powerful, but you didn't even know how to use it. Xiao Han's sarcastic tone stunned everyone. Is this guy crazy? Do you really consider yourself the king of mouthpieces? This tone is too impolite. Kling on the side wanted to go up and punch him when he heard it. Burma looked at Xiao Han with a surprised expression, as if her perception had been refreshed. Xiao Han is not this kind of person, why is he mocking Yamcha so much? You should know that Yamcha is really ruthless, but it can beat Xiao Han to death. And why does this tone sound so eager for someone to hit him? Even Burma has this feeling, let alone Yamcha. He wished a qigong bullet could hit Xiao Han's provocative face, shattering him into flesh and mud, but he held back. Yamcha took a deep breath and gritted her teeth, saying, Okay, I'll show you the height that a weak person like you can never reach. Yamcha raised her right hand and a yellow light ball appeared in her hand. Yamcha chuckled and threw it directly at Xiao Han. Bulma was shocked when she saw the light ball appear, but she knew the power of Qigong waves. If Xiao Han were to be hit, he would definitely be shocked. The turtle Immortal, Klin and others saw it but did not move. They knew it was an air bomb, and Yamcha could control the attack trajectory. Yamcha had no sense of propriety and could not have killed Sun Wukong in front of so many people at his wedding. And the pneumatic bomb Bulma had seen it before, and she knew she could control it, but if she cared, it would be chaotic and she simply forgot about it. Bulma shouted to Sun Wukong. Wukong, help me quickly. Seeing everyone looking puzzled, Bulma was extremely anxious and stood in front of Xiao Han. At the same time, a voice rang out in Xiao Han's mind. You have an incredible understanding and have observed the Qi control bullet. You have come to understand. P.S. Brothers, flowers. Evaluation ticket. Leave a message in the comments section with good ideas. 008 Qi. Shadow clone technique. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You have an incredible understanding, observing the use of Qi manipulation bullets and comprehending the advanced application and absorption methods of Qi. With each breath and inhalation, the energy that moves around the world will automatically enter your body and transform into Qi, until your body is saturated. Xiao Han was deeply shocked in his heart. He thought he could only comprehend the technique of using the Qi bullet, but he didn't expect to actually comprehend the absorption of Qi. Xiao Han could feel a lot of energy rushing wildly into his body, and the cells in his body were absorbing it like a rain after a long drought. In no time, Xiao Han felt the Qi in his body, which was slowly increasing. At the same time, Tianjin Fan, Gui Xianren, and Sun Wukong all turned their gaze to Xiao Han. Especially the turtle fairy, with a shocked expression on her face. Previously, Xiao Han was clearly an ordinary person, but now why is there suddenly an extra breath in his body? Shouldn't it really be because Yamcha releases a gas bomb that can absorb and utilize Qi? Impossible, impossible. The turtle Immortal shook his head. How could anyone learn how to use Qi at a glance? If it were really like this, wouldn't turtle fairy flow be a joke? Even Wukong and Kellen learned to absorb Qi after exercising for a long time. The turtle Immortal secretly mocked himself for being foolish. It must have been something Xiao Han knew before, but he was just hiding it. Learn at a glance that there is no existence at all. Bulma couldn't sense that Xiao Han's body was already filled with anger, and she looked at the gas bomb in front of her with fear. However, being able to die with Xiao Han can be considered satisfying, although I only knew him for a short period of time. But he is really handsome, talented, good at chatting, and also very talented. Yamcha was originally intended to scare Xiao Han, as the gas bomb would fly into the sky in front of him. Who knew that Bulma suddenly burst out, and Yamcha was so scared that she quickly began manipulating the gas bomb. However, the distance between the few people was only so short, and before Yamcha could react, the gas bomb had already arrived in front of Bulma. At this moment, one hand reached out from behind Burma and grabbed the gas bomb, then threw it into the sky. Everyone was stunned, not expecting Xiao Han to catch the gas bomb. The turtle Immortal could feel a layer of air covering Xiao Han's hands, which is why he was able to grab the air bomb and throw it away. The turtle Immortal breathed a sigh of relief. Sure enough, he had already learned how to breathe. Otherwise, how did he release his breath? But it's still a bit close. I don't know how to play waves. Yamcha couldn't believe the scene before her and shouted loudly. How could it be? You've learned martial arts before. Otherwise, how could you use Qi? Bulma turned bad luck into good, patting her chest in fear while staring at Xiao Han in surprise. Originally, Xiao Han had practiced martial arts, but why haven't he heard of it? Xiao Han pulled Burma behind him and gently said. Don't be impulsive in the future, just teach me everything. Burma felt sweet at the words and nodded. Yamcha became even angrier as she watched the two of them scatter dog food here. Shameless villain. I've learned martial arts but still say I haven't, and I've been teasing you all along. I enthusiastically performed the Wolf-Fang Wind Fist and the Chao Chi Bullet, but as a result, others also used Chi. Isn't this a clown? Xiao Han looked at Yamcha and asked with a murderous heart. I mean, is it possible that I just learned it? Is it possible that you taught me? Yamcha is furious and still teasing him. We must make him look good. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Yamcha posed and rushed forward directly, using the new Wolf-Fang Wind Fist. In the midst of everyone's surprise, shock, and strange gaze, Xiao Han assumed the same posture and rushed out. Yamcha took the lead, but Xiao Han came in later and came to him faster than Yamcha. If Yamcha is a wolf, then Xiao Han is the Wolf King. Xiao Han didn't hesitate, he directly hit the Super Wolf-Fang Wind Fist. Yamcha was already startled by Xiao Han's speed, and before she could react, she saw a wolf biting him. Xiao Han punched and kicked repeatedly, hitting Yamcha on the body. Yamcha was initially punched a few times, but quickly reacted and resisted Xiao Han's attack. Yamcha wanted to counterattack, but Xiao Han's speed was too fast, and the strength of each punch was even greater than his Wolf-Fang Wind Fist. He could only passively defend. No, we can't fight like this. Yamcha got away from Xiao Han's side at the cost of getting 2 punches. Damn it, do you still have the face to say you haven't learned martial arts? Xiao Han stopped his movements and looked at Yamcha in surprise. Can't you see that I'm using the Wolf-Fang Wind Fist? Isn't that what you just taught me? Yamcha was stunned. Is this the Wolf-Fang Wind Fist? Recalling Xiao Han's move, it seems like it was really Wolf-Fang Wind Fist. How could this be? When did he steal to learn? The audience around also saw that Xiao Han's moves were almost the same as Yamcha's, but his moves were more subtle and powerful. This guy can't really be a newcomer, can he? Yamcha was under a lot of pressure, and the way he looked at Xiao Han changed. This guy was just a monster. Not only did I steal the Wolf-Fang Wind Fist, but I also optimized it. Stealing to learn my Wolf-Fang Fong Fist, and still being stubborn, I'll see if you can learn this. Remnant's Fist. Yamcha's figure stood in place, but in reality, he was moving at high speed at the moment, and his figure in place was just a remnant. If encountering other Earthlings, this move may be very useful, but unfortunately, he encountered Xiao Han, who had an incredible understanding. You have an incredible understanding, observing the residual image fist and comprehending the technique of shadow clones. You can release clones through chi release, have self-awareness, disappear after being attacked, and have partial strength. Shadow clone technique. Xiao Han was stunned. Isn't this a move from another world? Can this also be understood? Feeling a strong wind coming, Xiao Han clapped his hands and another Xiao Han appeared from the side. This scene directly confused Yamcha. I really learned the residual image fist, which is the essence. This residual image fist is even more powerful than mine. Multiple residual image fists. Tianjin Fan looked at Xiao Han's figure in confusion and asked, this is too similar to Sun Wukong's multiple residual image fist. However, the two Xiao Han actually made different reaction movements, and now Tianjin Fan is not sure if it is a multiple residual image fist. Now there was a stalemate again, with two Xiao Han looking at the front and one at the back. Yamcha couldn't distinguish which one was the afterimage, and in the end, she had no choice but to choose one attack. Yamcha rushed towards one of them in an instant, punching him with a punch, and Xiao Han blocked him directly. Yamcha retreated directly and then moved at high speed to the rear to attack, but surprisingly, another Xiao Han also blocked the attack. Yamcha was blinded directly. Are the two of them also moving at high speed? Yamcha retreated to the side and stopped his residual fist, but the two Xiao Han still stood there. If you can't distinguish between the two, let's fight together. Yamcha extends her hands forward, her wrists are tightly pressed, and her palms form a calyx shape. Seeing this scene, everyone else was shocked. The turtle fairy leaned forward and was ready to save someone. Turtle. Pi. Chi. Gong. A sky blue energy ball appeared between Yamcha's hands, emitting a strong blue light. Wave. Yamcha let out a loud roar, pushed her hands fiercely, and the energy ball burst out. Meanwhile, in Xiao Han's mind, you have an incredible understanding, observing the qigong waves of the turtle sect, and comprehending. 009 is an incredible martial arts talent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. You have an incredible understanding, observing the turtle school qigong wave and comprehending the perfect turtle school qigong wave. You use less qi, but your speed and power are several times higher than ordinary turtle school qigong waves. Xiao Han placed his hands in the shape of sepals on his waist, and when he saw this position, everyone's pupils shrank. Klin looked at Xiao Han incredulously, this posture he was already familiar with. The turtle fairy took 2 steps forward, wanting to take a closer look. Sun Wukong looked at the turtle fairy and curiously asked, "Grandpa Turtle Immortal, when did you teach him turtle sect qigong?" "How come I don't know?" The turtle fairy glared at Sun Wukong, and Klin muttered to himself in his mouth, "I can't really learn it right now. It's too scary." Klin has been practicing with Turtle Fairy all along. If Turtle Fairy had taught Xiao Han, he would definitely know. Is there really someone who can learn all the martial arts at a glance? No wonder Bulma wants to call him a genius, he really didn't lie. Turtle. Pi. Chi. Gong. Wave. Xiao Han shouted loudly, his whole being extremely excited. Which man didn't fantasize about practicing turtle-style qigong when he was a child? Anyone who has seen Dragon Ball has tried this style and phrase more than once. But this time it came true. The blue qigong wave was pushed out by Xiao Han, and in an instant, it flew to the front of Yamcha's qigong wave and collided fiercely. "Mom, right bow." Xiao Han wanted to sing loudly, and he also had a day of playing against others. He exerted all his strength to release all the qi in his body through his hands. Yamcha also put in all her efforts and exerted all her abilities. Both qigong waves have become thicker. Although Xiao Han's perfect turtle sect qigong wave has stronger power than ordinary turtle sect qigong waves, after all, Yamcha has been practicing martial arts since childhood and has more qi in his body than Xiao Han. So the turtle-style qigong waves of the two were deadlocked in the middle, and neither could do anything about the other. At this moment, another Xiao Han suddenly moved and assumed the same posture. Turtle. Pi. Chi. Gong. Wave. The second turtle-style qigong collided directly with Yamcha's qigong wave, which was instantly shattered. Then, Xiao Han's 2 qigong waves converged to form a stronger qigong wave that collided with Yamcha. Turtle Immortal, Sun Wukong, and Klin were ready for rescue, but Turtle Sect's qigong wave suddenly lifted its head and flew past Yamcha, soaring straight into the sky. The familiar scene left Yamcha silent for a while. Just now, I wanted to use this move to intimidate Xiao Han, but now Xiao Han has used the same method to intimidate me. Yamcha suddenly lifted his head, his eyes bloodshot at the moment, and he asked in a hoarse voice. "Are these all things you just learned?" Xiao Han nodded, "They are all just beginners. You can ask teacher Wu Tian, he has never taught me martial arts." Everyone's gaze turned to the turtle fairy, who nodded slowly. "Indeed, today is the first time I have seen this young man." Yamcha closed her eyes and worked hard to calm her emotions. "I lost. However, why is your residual image fist different from mine? Even if you lose Yamcha, you must be convinced and willing to lose it. Why can Xiao Han's shadow attack?" He still hasn't figured it out. Not only him, but also Klin, Gui Xianren, Tianjin Fan, and even Sun Wukong all want to know why. After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Han still said. Didn't you notice? Actually, all the martial arts are different from yours, and I have made some improvements to all of them. Super Wolf Fang Wind Fist, Perfect Turtle Sec Qigong Wave. And the martial arts you're asking about are not Residual Image Fist, but the Shadow Clone technique that I learned through Residual Image Fist. Xiao Han's Shadow Clone continued to say. The reason why I can attack is because I am a clone, a physical entity, not a shadow. After speaking, the Shadow Clone immediately dispersed voluntarily. Silence, everyone fell silent for a moment. Even Bulma didn't expect that Xiao Han not only had talent in scientific research, but also in martial arts. Not only can you learn it by watching it once, but you can also improve your martial arts and become stronger. Even the martial arts tycoon Turtle Immortal, who rarely accepts disciples, now has the idea of accepting disciples in his heart. Xiao Han's martial arts talent is too strong. Finally, the neurotic Sun Wukong broke the silence. Wow, Xiao Han, you're so strong. You're so amazing. No wonder I feel that your Turtle Sec Qigong Wave has greater power. It turns out it's been improved a bit. I really want to have a fight with you. How about we come now? Chi-Chi quickly pulled on Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong looked at Chi-Chi's unhappy expression and scratched his head. If there's a chance, we must have a sparring. Xiao Han certainly wouldn't refuse such a good opportunity. Okay, definitely. Yamcha looked at Bulma with disappointment and noticed that her gaze had been fixed on Xiao Han. She sighed and turned to prepare to leave. Yamcha. Xiao Han called out to him. Yamcha thought that Xiao Han would continue to humiliate him, but he had already lost. What could be done to be humiliated? Thank you for your guidance. I have always longed for the path of martial arts, but I have never been able to enter it. It was you who led me into the path of martial arts. I will use it to protect Burma well. When I drink later, I must give you a few toasts. Yamcha thought that Xiao Han was mocking him, but when he saw Xiao Han's sincere eyes and grateful expression, he realized that it had always been him with a small belly and chicken intestines. Yamcha smiled. Okay, don't go home until you're drunk. 010 Turtle Immortal Flow, Crane Immortal Flow Snatches people. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although it was already until the Saiyan people had a large appetite, after witnessing it firsthand, Xiao Han still felt extremely shocked. Xiao Han's appetite was eaten in just a few bites by Sun Wukong, and in the blink of an eye, more than 10 large bowls were placed next to him. Xiao Han couldn't help but look at Chi-Chi with pity. No wonder he would be so poor in the future. With this way of eating, there are really not many people besides Bulma who can afford to raise Sun Wukong. The stronger Sun Wukong becomes in the future, the greater his appetite will be. Chi-Chi didn't know what Xiao Han meant by his glance at her. The wedding was supposed to be a mess caused by this guy, so Chi-Chi should be very angry. But when Xiao Han and Bulma offered 1 million soni as part of the money, Chi-Chi's attitude immediately changed. That's called enthusiasm. Now, half of the dishes in Xiao Han's bowl are given to him by Bulma and the other half by Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi also knew that Sun Wukong ate very quickly and specially served a lot of dishes to the wealthy man, which almost caused Bulma to misunderstand. After everyone finished their meal, Sun Wukong was still eating, and the entire table was filled with his empty bowl. Burma whispered. Wukong is like this, he has always been very edible, eating a lot and fast. When he was a child, he once ate 500,000 soni directly. Xiao Han licked his tongue upon hearing this, and in half a day, 1 million would be enough for him to eat 2 meals. No wonder Chi-Chi lived so hard and poor afterwards. Tianjin Fan suddenly said to Xiao Han. Xiao Han, you said you have always wanted to practice martial arts. Do you want to join our Crane Immortal Flow? Our Crane Immortal Flow has very strong strength and can teach you many martial arts. I can take on your apprenticeship and teach you Crane Immortal Flow martial arts. Xiao Han's eyes lit up, and his Xianlu was also very good. Turtle Xianluo's strength was entirely due to Sun Wukong, but Tianjin Fan's strength was also good in the early stage. The power of Qigong Cannon greatly surpasses that of Turtle Sect Qigong Wave. The Turtle Immortal became a little anxious when he saw Xiao Han's movements. He had already intended to recruit disciples, and with Xiao Han's talent, he could quickly surpass Sun Wukong and promote the Turtle Immortal Flow. Moreover, Hexianliu and Gixianliu are already in opposition. Although Hexianliu has died, their relationship with Tianjin rice, dumplings, and others is still good. But we cannot give up in the struggle for orthodoxy. Xiao Han, since you have learned the Turtle Sect Qigong Wave, you are a member of our Turtle Immortal Flow. Turtle Sect Qigong is our ultimate skill. Tianjin Fan felt a little anxious when he saw that Guixian also wanted to recruit him. Although he respected Guixian very much, he still wanted to fight for Xiao Han, a martial arts genius. Teacher Wu Tian, I can't say that. Xiao Han didn't learn the Turtle Sect Qigong through the study of Turtle Immortal Flow. How can he be considered a Turtle Immortal Flow person? It is a rule passed down by Wutai Do Shizu that one should be considered a Turtle Immortal after becoming a disciple. Besides, Xiao Han already knows the Turtle-style Qigong. I think it's better to come to our Crane Immortal Flow to learn Qigong Cannon. The power of Qigong Cannon is much greater than that of Turtle-style Qigong. The Turtle Fairy used his elbow to guide Klin, and Klin immediately understood in his heart, the power of Qigong Cannon is great, but it can cause a lot of burden on the body and even damage the foundation, which is not worth it. We have a lot more to teach Xiao Han in Gixianliu, come and teach us Gixianliu. Tianjin Rice directly replied. Xiao Han has such a high talent in martial arts that he can definitely overcome the shortcomings of the Qigong Cannon. This is not a big deal. And our Crane Immortal Flow also has the technique of dancing in the air, which can help you learn how to fly. How powerful! Dumplings added, and there are also cave waves. Sun Fist. What moves can Turtle Immortal Flow teach? Klin glared at the dumplings. You have all withdrawn from the Hexianliu. What is the relationship between Hexianliu and you? Tianjin Rice shakes its head. We just despised the actions of the Crane Immortal, so we withdrew. However, after the Crane Immortal's death, there were only me and dumplings left in the Crane Immortal Flow. Of course, we were the people of the Crane Immortal Flow. Klin was momentarily speechless and wanted to say something, but it seemed like there was nothing he could teach Xiao Han. Klin turned his pleading gaze towards the Turtle Fairy, who slowly said. Who said we don't have any other martial arts like Turtle Immortal Flow? I can teach Xiao Han the 10,000 Nation Shock Palm and Magic Sealing Wave. Upon hearing these words, Xiao Han's eyes lit up and he stared straight at the Turtle Fairy. Kling on the side looked envious, as he had not learned either of these moves himself. Even Sun Wukong on the side put down the bowl in his hand. Grandpa Turtle Immortal, do you still know these martial arts? Why don't you give them to me? The Turtle Fairy was speechless and didn't know how to answer, so he ignored Sun Wukong and looked at Xiao Han. How about, do you want to come to our Gixianliu? Upon hearing of this good news, Xiao Han couldn't possibly refuse. Tianjin Fan saw that Xiao Han was about to agree to the Turtle Immortal. With a bite of his teeth, such a martial arts genius couldn't enter the Crane Immortal Flow or the Turtle Immortal Flow. Wait a minute. P.S. 10,000 Nation Shocking Palm, Qigong Cannon is about to appear. Leave a comment in the comments section about what you want to see. Brothers, flowers, comments, and evaluation tickets, it's better to have rewards.